Hey guys, what's going on? Alan here, back at the Gibson Garage YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to be doing a starter. If you've, obviously you know why you're watching the video. I get to do one of these awesome things. Did not come with the So I've never done one of these before. It doesn't seem like too big of a pain in the butt. It's interesting that they would put it in the center under the intake manifold. I like the idea, just because it clears up space for exhaust and other things down below. But then at the same time, you have to remove the intake manifold if you got to change it. And sometimes, like if you go to these stores and it can be a problem. The original one can last you, 20 years, and then you go to change it with like a store-bought, remanufactured one or whatever, and you're in there like every 2 years. That can kind of suck, because you got to take the intake manifold off every time. But whatever, it is what it is. This is an 02 Toyota Tundra. Yep. And we're gonna be changing the starter. Now you can see it from here, in between the hole there. Now, I did do the usual checks. Of course, first I just tried to crank it, and you got the usual one click and nothing. You keep trying. Sometimes you keep trying and trying and trying to warm up that solenoid, and it might fire off for you. This one didn't do it. I did it enough times where I was like, okay, I'm tired of, warming up the relay for one, which the relay was good. Obviously it was clicking, and then you could hear that solenoid clicking. It just wasn't kicking out the Bendix, I think is what that's called. But, so you could get in there and try to tap on it, but that's just a temporary fix. So I think we're gonna start by removing this plastic cover. Couple of 10 mil bolts here. Oh, that's metal. That's not plastic. Let's get rid of this. Okay, yeah, it was just a little glued on. Then you got these vacuum hoses here. Twist a little bit if you, to break them loose. And these old lines. Unplug your battery, negative first, then the positive. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna remove the cable bracket so I don't have to worry about adjustment later. I'll remove the bracket and then I can unfeed that. Unfeed? Sure. You say I got a crack in my windshield. Nope. Cool. And is this a coolant line? Yep, that's coolant line. Answers that question. Do I want to mess with coolant lines? Gosh. Nope. Nope, I don't. I don't. We'll just take the throttle body off. I think that's going to be less of a mess. Less of a mess. Okay. Got one. This is for the harness over here on the side. .22 mil here. Okay, now I think that completely disconnects. There might be a ground wire in the back, but I think other than the mounting bolts down there, grab your 12 and hit up the four corners. Those weren't tight. That one wasn't tight at all. Torque on these might not be very high, so. You got built-in washers. And then the rest, you're gonna need a T40. And we're gonna go from the outside in. So we're just gonna go around and bust them all loose in a circular inward spiraling pattern. If I can see them. And I think that's actually it. So there's 4 big bolts, 6 of the Torx. there is the starter. And you can see now why it's a good idea to blow all this out. Oh, is that a washer? Huh. Now I gotta look for washers. Hope I didn't drop any down the intake. Should just be one, right? No. There's the other one. Okay, we're good. It's still attached to that thing. Whew. Alright, no ground wire hiding in the back, nothing else hiding in the back. It's fuel lines, or the regulator, your fuel injector harness, bunch of vacuum lines, disconnect throttle body so you don't have to mess with the... Alright, I've got the surfaces cleaned up and some tape on it so I don't accidentally drop anything down there. And what I got is a 14 millimeter on a swivel. There's one. I'm gonna wait until I can get both bolts out until I break loose the connector, because it's kind of underneath. Look at all the oil that's coming out of this. It's crazy. So this piece of harness here is a pain in the butt. I mean, it can't really move from this position. It can go out, but the starter's not going to go that direction. That's a pain in the butt to deal with, because it's also wrapped around underneath the nut. So you just got to fight with it like I was, really. It's probably how it's going to have to go back on too. And I am going, with new gaskets. I don't feel like cleaning the old ones. They're just gross. And these are, in case you're wondering, these are not like a multi-layer, one thick gasket. Six T40s and then your 4 nuts. And good luck. Alright, intake manifold is bolted on. Now I think I'm just going to work from the bottom. Starting with the fuel injectors. Is that too short? You can hang out right here if you want. Now this one is OEM style multi-layer steel, so that's pretty cool. Well, it's looking complete already. Just got a few simple things. Hoses. One there. This one went somewhere. I'll figure it out. Oh, there it is. There's the big one. That's the big PVC hose. Now we might be changing that PCV hose. If you got oil in your, that much oil in there, it's got to be coming from the PCV. P positive, yeah. I mean, because it's a dry intake, there's no coolant or oil running through the intake, but there is coolant running through the throttle body, but that's coolant, not oil. So I think we're just gonna button the rest of this up. I'm gonna try to get away without having to replace any of those hoses. We'll see if they split when they try to go back on. I didn't even know that one got disconnected. So that one went there, and then this one went over there. That's on, that's on. Yeah, that's on, and that's on. I haven't got my finger. Okay. Sure, that's fine. Well, I think all the hoses went on without ripping any more than they were. And I think they'll seal up for now. Everything's back together and in place. Oh. I think I plugged everything in. Let's see if it works. That thing just spit out a tape. How old is this thing? Well, starter works. That's good news. Might have to prime some gas back into it. What does this fuel gauge not work? All right, it's running and it starts. Not bad. Cool. That's exciting. That's how you do a starter on a 4.7 liter, a Toyota 4.7 liter V8. Jesus. It's getting warm. It's not as bad as it has been the last couple days, like 112 or whatever. We're only at like 100 right now, so it's okay. It's okay. I think that's gonna do it. Let me know what you guys think of that video. If I did anything wrong, if you liked anything I did right, if you got anything to say at all, write it down in the comments. Hit that like button, please subscribe, please share, and as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.